This is going to be the time and leave training for the supervisors. I will let everybody know ahead of time that this is still a very new process, not just for you guys, but also for us. So questions are definitely welcome. If you want to pop them in the chat, then we can answer them as we go. So what is new? Basically, all employees starting January 1 will be accruing leave. So all employees within the community college system, so that includes all of our folks here at Pikes Peak, will now earn 1 hour of sick leave for every 30 hours that they're working. And the max that they can have is going to be 48 hours. So how's this going to work? We have a couple different classifications of employees. We're going to cover the timesheet employees. So if you're a supervisor of the timesheet employees, they're going to accrue leave based off of their timesheet. It's going to be calculated through payroll whenever they submit their timesheets. The timesheet employees are going to include student hourlies, temp hourlies, work studies, all of those folks. Then there's the instructors. So we're going to cover the instructors as well. They're going to accrue leave based off of their active assignment. So as long as they have an active assignment for the spring semester, they're going to be granted 22.5 hours. It's going to be visible in March, but if they need to use their leave before then, you're just going to reach out and contact me and let me know. So this is going to include anybody that's paid via FLAC. And we do have situations where we have employees that are paid via FLAC as instructors, but they also have timesheets. So maybe they're an instructor and they're also tutoring. So the way that we're handling those is I'm kind of watching them every 2 weeks. I'm looking at what do they do more often? Are they teaching 5 classes and tutoring maybe once a month for 2 hours? I'm going to give them the leave based off of their teaching. Because that's going to give them the greater benefit. We may have folks, though, that spend most of their time on timesheets and then maybe sub once a semester. So they're going to earn their leave based off of their timesheets. So just let me know, though, if there's somebody that you think isn't accruing the leave correctly. I'm going through all of them every single 2 weeks and trying to just get that all sorted out for everybody. We do have a third classification that I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because a lot of these folks, we don't have a lot of these folks, but there's the part-time salaried employees. So these would be folks that have less than a 0.75 FTE, but they may be here on a more permanent basis. They're going to earn it also based off of their timesheets or off of their FTE. So we can talk a little bit more one-on-one if this is somebody that you supervise and you have questions about them. Okay, so some things to consider that applies to all of these employees is that if you work in multiple institutions, the sick leave will be separate for every institution. The leave is not going to cross over. So if they come here from CCCS, they're going to start their leave over when they come here. Let's see. Oh, and then if an employee has multiple timesheets, they may experience a delay seeing their leave accruing. We found so far that that has not really been an issue. What may cause an issue, though, is if they haven't submitted their timesheet on time. So if your folks are one of those that you have to do a paper timesheet because they forgot to do it last week and meet those payroll deadlines, those folks are going to experience delays in the leave accruals. So just something to kind of keep in mind to keep them on track and make sure that they're getting their stuff turned in. Okay, so using the sick leave. So the employees are going to be allowed to use their sick leave very similar to any full-time folks that we have. So if they're sick, kind of the obvious one, but they can also use it for injury that's not covered under workers' comp. They can use it for medical appointments. So they've got the doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, anything like that. They can use it for health needs of their children that are under 18, or if they are like a caregiver for somebody who is an adult, maybe a parent, spouse, things like that, that they are the primary caregiver for. So they can use it if they're homesick, but also to take them to their appointments. And the last one that is new for everybody is if they're a victim or somebody that they care for is a victim of domestic abuse, sexual assault, or harassment. Okay, so we're going to dive into the timesheet employees and how they're going to be submitting their leave. The sick leave can only be used after they've accrued their leave, and it's in that balance. So it's going to accrue when payrolls ran. So they'll see it a couple days before the following payday. It's only supposed to be used for regularly scheduled hours. So if you've got an employee who hasn't called off sick all semester, they can't use their sick leave to fill in the gaps to end their contract, if you will. It can only be used for sick leave. If the employee is off, they need to be off for that week for whatever reason because they're sick, but they don't have a regularly scheduled hours, then you would just use an average. Hopefully we don't get into that situation too often, but if you're not sure what the average is, you can always reach out to me. I'm sure Barb or Tamika and payroll can help with any of that as well. Let's see. So, in any leave that has extended beyond the 3 work days, you'll definitely want to have them reach out to us. We may require a doctor's note. It may be something like a more serious illness where we might need to consider if they're eligible for FMLA or whatever the case may be. So you can have them reach out to us, or you can as well as the supervisor. So reviewing the timesheet is going to be very similar to what you've already been doing. There's not going to be a lot of changes, but I do want to stress the importance of reviewing it very carefully, making sure that all the hours are in the timesheet correctly. You may need to return it for corrections. All of that's kind of the same. It's still 15-minute increments. What's going to be different is the way that their timesheet looks. And this is kind of a sample of what the timesheet will look like. Under their regular work pay, you'll see a student sick leave pay now. And so that's where they're going to be able to enter their hours when they're sick. And this is just a sample of the non-student hourly timesheets and what it'll look like. So essentially the same thing, it's just going to have a line for sick leave. So when you're reviewing the timesheet, just like I said, make sure that you're making sure that the hours are correct when they enter it. You can see the leave balances from here if you haven't seen them already. When you click on leave balances, it will pop up this screen. So you'll be able to tell, like, you can go in and you can see how much sick leave, like in this example, they submitted 9 hours of sick leave, but you can see down here that the available balance is only 0.87. So you might want to reach back out to that employee and say, wait a second, you don't have enough time, have them submit 0.75, and then the rest of it would just not be paid. And so from the leave balances screen, you're not going to be able to approve the timesheet. That's just for you to be able to view it and just kind of double check those balances. You can always return the timesheet for corrections, have them fix it. Definitely let them know if you've returned it though, because they do not get a message when you return their timesheet to them. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because I want to see if there are any questions from anybody. That's really all there is to it, to the timesheets for, to the sick leave for the timesheet employees. Do we have any questions about those folks? Oh, there's the chats. Sorry, I had to find the chats.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like none. Yeah, it doesn't look like
None.
anybody has any questions yet.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we will move on then to the instructors. Hmm, there it is. Okay, so these are the folks that are going to be paid via FLAC. The sick leave is eligible as soon as their assignment started. So most of our folks have already started teaching, so their sick leave is available to them now. The sick leave is only going to be required to be used for class time or like student contact time that's missed. It's not going to include like prep time, grading, all of that. And then with them the same way, if they're going to be out for more than 3 days, they just want to let us know or have them reach out to us and let us know. So the sick leave is going to be based system office did a calculation to kind of figure out what the baseline was going to be at the 22.5 hours. Hopefully in the future, they're going to be able to calculate it truly based off of what they're teaching. But at this point, you know, Banner, we're still working out some of the kinks and how that's going to work. So at this point, this is how we're going forward with them. So they're going to submit their leave similar to the full-time folks. So anybody that is in this category is going to have the ability to go into the leave request report system and enter their hours. They'll see their sick leave available, same place that we would as a full-time person. Submit the hours for what they did, put the total hours over here, just making sure that number is really accurate because it will let you put in too much or too little. They can put in the comments if they want, and then they just submit it for approval. So when I did the instructor training, I also went through all of this and showed them how to do that. For the supervisors, though, you'll be approving the leave. When the employee submits a leave request, you'll get an email that says the leave was submitted. It'll prompt you to log into the portal and go to the workflow. So this will be on the employee tab in the portal for you. You can click on the link that's here and it'll open up the leave request. Some things to consider when you're looking at the leave request, I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second, is just making sure again that they have enough leave to cover that request. You can, when you get into it, you'll have 3 different options. You can either approve it, return it for revisions, or deny the request. If you return it or you deny it, comments are very helpful, not just for the employee, but if the employee reaches out to me, then I have something to refer back to. Otherwise, I just send them to their supervisor to have that discussion. And then once you've made that determination, you'll click complete. So this is just kind of a sample of what the leave request will look like. You'll see the sick leave request and it's got the hours on there. Off to the right-hand side, it's gonna have anything that's approved but not taken. And then down at the bottom is gonna have that, or I'm sorry, I guess it's the middle, it's gonna have the details, exactly what they're requesting. And then down at the bottom is where you make that determination. So make sure that you click complete though when you're done with it. There are other options. I think the other one is save and close. Save and close just means you're going to come back to it later. So clicking complete is when you have finalized your decision. Some people, other colleges don't have that issue, but I've seen it a lot here at Pikes Peak, is when they have finished it, it brings up a separate tab. So you can close out that tab and just go back to the portal. And in the workflow, the leave request may still be there. If you click on that little circle refresh button, it should disappear off of your workflow if it was finished and completed. If it hasn't, you might just try and go back in and do your determination again and click complete. So it should automatically come off of there for you. And if you have any problems with it, just reach out to me. I can help walk you through it. Sometimes me just threatening the system works. So you can go in and look at your leave balances and history as well. When you are on the employee tab, looking at your own information, if you click on leave request report history, that's where you'll be able to see this information. So when you're in your history, you scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and it's going to have subordinate leave report history. And then underneath that is the subordinate leave balances. So you'll be able to click on their names and just see. So you can always check to make sure that they've submitted their leave if you can't remember. Okay, and this, yeah, same thing about the leave history or the leave balances. You can go in and look at their balances. Okay, do we have any questions about the instructors?
You're just so thorough, Lakeisha. You answer everyone's question.
I try. Okay, I'll stop sharing that. I thought thered be tons of questions about the instructors. So I will say, we, system office, the collective we are trying to figure out a lot of the different kinks with the instructors as far as who their supervisors are going to be and how that leave's going to be routed. Luckily, we don't have a lot of leave requests coming through, so they are working really hard on trying to figure out how that'll all play out for everybody. But once we know what we need to do on the backside and banner to set it up, then we'll definitely reach out to the supervisors to figure this out. Debbie, so this leave specifically is for adjuncts. The full-time faculty receive different benefits. Absolutely.
Anyone else have any other questions for Lakeisha about this leave or the processes or anything? Okay. Well, we will make sure this is recorded. We're going to make sure that everybody has access to it afterwards, because I'll put it on YouTube so people can get in there and rewatch it if you needed to remind yourself of a piece. But Keisha is the expert so far on this. So please feel free to reach out to her if you have any additional questions.
Yeah, and sometimes it's once you get in there and you start looking at it and start seeing the leave request, that's when questions start to really come up. So definitely reach out to me and let me know if there's anything that comes up.
Lakeisha,
Yeah.
Kathy, just for one clarification, the employees received some type of email that said they're now going to start having sick time. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, and they were all invited to attend the trainings as well.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. And if they didn't, if you have somebody that maybe says they didn't receive it, definitely let me know, because I can forward the emails to them. It was just based off of distribution lists. So I'd be happy to send it or meet with them separately, anything you guys need. That's what I'm here for.
Thanks.
And that was Kathy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think for your folks, most of them are going to be receiving their leave as for the timesheet side of it. I think, unless you think we should be doing it differently.
No, you're correct.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell them they don't have any sick time.
One thing though, too, that's also really different with the sick leave compared to any full-time folks is that the sick leave, we're not paying out the sick leave. So it's not something where they get it if they retire or anything like that. So just something else to kind of keep in mind. If you're talking to your employees about it, just know that some of the benefits that may apply to you may not apply to them.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Lakeisha, for all of your time
Absolutely.
today and sharing with us. And I'll make sure to get that in an email to you guys to have that in case someone also too asks you about it. Hey, how was that training? Feel free to forward them the link if they have questions. So
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
thank you. You all have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks.
Good job, Lakeisha, as always. Good job. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Lakeisha.
you. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
There weren't even like many questions here either.
I know. I'm so shocked, but I do really think though that it's going to be one of those things where we're going to get a lot of questions afterwards.
Soon as sick leave is really happening, it's going to be like, wait, what do I do? How does this happen? What am I?
Right.
I do that all the time too, though. I'm like, oh, I totally got it. And then you actually do it and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, and that's really the thing. And we see that so much with like even the full-time people when I do the orientations with them that they don't have questions right now because they're not thinking about using it right now, but maybe next semester they might
Yeah.
come up
Or
with a
I
lot.
think, especially like if people start going back in person a little more and then everybody's exposed to all the germs again and everybody's going to get sick,
Yeah.
then it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, good job. You made it through 3 trainings.
Yay.
Woo! Now you're done.
Yes.
Okay. Well, have a good rest of your Thursday. Happy
Thank you, you
Friday.
too. Happy Friday. Almost Friday.
Almost Friday.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.